Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that the future of the Star Wars franchise seems to be quite expansive, not just with their books, novels, comics, and video games, but also, let's not forget about their new Star Wars TV shows, their movies, and more to come, by both Bob Iger, Bob Chapek, George, John, and Dave, and more. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about Disney Star Wars is that yes, we do know that they are now on the road to victory when it comes to Star Wars. Essentially, what they want to do is that they want to show the fans exactly what Star Wars can be without Kathleen Kennedy. Given that Kathleen Kennedy only has control over one Star Wars TV series, and that's it. That of course, is the Leslie Headland Star Wars TV show, mind you. Everything aside from that is in their hands, between George, John, and Dave, so that's one excellent thing to look forward to. So on top of all of this, what's really exciting all has to do with Lucasfilm's, actual plan on the future of Star Wars and exactly what could have been by creator George Lucas himself. Now, George, mind you, he worked very hard on a lot of aspects of Episode 9 and also a lot of aspects of currently this new Star Wars universe that he's working on. Whether it be TV shows or future Star Wars movies, whatever it may be, a lot of work is being poured in to this new expanded universe. Now, on top of all of this, what's really intriguing all has to do with the original sequel trilogy by George Lucas. Now that the Skywalker saga is over, both Disney and Lucasfilm have been fully embraced with their new universe and their new trilogy of movies. However, previously George Lucas was involved in the development of a sequel trilogy of his own before everything was moved over to Disney. It's described that at one point in time, George Lucas had established a story that featured Luke Skywalker with a new generation of Jedi, showcasing a younger version of Luke in his late 30s, signaling his version of the sequel trilogy would have been based closer to Return of the Jedi than the final version. The original sequel trilogy was also set to include characters like Darth Maul and Darth Talon that would take on the Skywalkers as well as Leia in the new trilogy that Lucas wrote rough outlines for. So let's stop right here for a second. Now, obviously, George Lucas's version of the sequel trilogy, once again, brings back an iconic villain to life, kind of similar to what happened with Palpatine in Episode 9. In Lucas's version of the sequel trilogy, these rough outlines, these rough ideas that he had, were actually going to bring Darth Maul back to life in a post-Return of the Jedi era. Now, granted, a lot of these ideas were switched over to be used in the animated Star Wars content that we have seen, and how we actually got to see Darth Maul come back to life. A lot of that was used for that. So, past all of this, alright, the legend of Palpatine was also going to be a main focus in the story in order to give the fans new revelations of Darth Sidious. Lucas originally wanted to explore Palpatine's holocron in his trilogy before he sold everything over to Disney. Eventually, his ideas were used by Colin Trevorrow's Duel of the Fates, which also was put into the trash. It's said that Lucas was going to give Darth Maul, however, a far older design in his trilogy of movies that would also set up the secrets of the Sith as well as an army of crime syndicates. Luke Skywalker's new generation of Jedi were also going to be a main focus in the trilogy that would showcase new lightsaber designs that fans have never seen before on the big screen, as well as the children of both Han, Leia, and Luke engaging in the form of live action. I don't know about you guys, but to me, this sounds like it was the biggest lost opportunity in cinema history. To me, I feel that George Lucas really should have stood up and maybe, just embraced this idea and actually made it into a reality. Now, I'm not blaming George, mind you. I mean, let's all look at George's life through his perspective. He was very tired with the prequel trilogy. Eventually, he had ideas for his version of the sequels. Obviously, that did not turn out to be a real thing, on screen. It never made it to the theaters, obviously, because he eventually sold everything over to Disney and didn't really want to continue with his sequel trilogy at that. So, the fact that we could have gotten a post-Return of the Jedi era sequel trilogy, which is what the current one is, technically, but this one was going to be far closer to Episode 6, if that makes a lot of sense. Our characters that we all know and love would have been younger. The main villain would have been Darth Maul and Darth Talon, as well as Luke Skywalker's new generation of Jedi being featured, as well as the children of Luke, Han, and Leia. To me, this obviously seems like that what they were trying to do is that they were trying to make a Star Wars Legends movie, essentially, with Darth Maul thrown into the mix to really spice things up a bit. To me, that sounds like that this would have been the ultimate sequel trilogy that fans would have fell in love with immediately, mind you, that would have really sold and hit box office records, without a doubt. Absolutely it would have. So like I've said before in the past, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.